Lisa, thinking, right? Logical thinking, scientific thinking, good thinking, all that stuff, right? Which I'm desperately bad at, but I talk a lot about. You wrote a fantastic book, Thinking for a Change. Now you're still playing around with those ideas, and you're presenting assumption hacking, right? Could you tell me how you got to assumption hacking?
I can. I had been thinking about, so my journey has led me, from being a partner with Goldratt Group, way back when, being an associate with Ellie, being part of that whole process of actually developing the thinking processes. And after I retired from Goldratt Group, I had really been thinking about what's the real essence of the value of what I learned from Ellie. Mm-hmm. And as I've thought about the thinking process tools, and I think about who are the best, what I think of TOC thinkers in the world, there's a big gap between even the people who use the thinking process tools and that small group that's like the best TOC thinkers. Like Ellie, of course, would be at the top of that list, and there's a number of others. I consider you among that group, actually, and it has less to do with the different versions of trees, which now the list keeps growing longer of the number of thinking process tools there are out there. Yeah. And the real thing that I think Ellie was after, which is how can we think more clearly about the situations that we find ourselves in and the improvements that we really care about making. Yep. And trees had nothing to do with it. Mm. And it's all about the attitude we bring in, which is part of what I'll talk about tomorrow. What are the key elements of the attitude that we need to bring in if we're going to really challenge ourselves to think more clearly so that we can really solve the things that we want to solve, really make things better, and the tools. So one of my hopes is I'll make my book, Thinking for a Change, obsolete, and simplify it down to a set of I'll say mindset and frame of reference, along with very simple guidelines to help us uncover what are the hidden assumptions that we're making that are blocking us from really making the progress that we want to make. So that's ultimately what it is. So
okay, and it's plural, right? It's assumptions hacking. It's not the one thing. It's just a sum of mistaken assumptions. It's a cocktail of mistaken assumptions, or is well,
we all make. How many assumptions do we make, right? In the span of 15 minutes, we're making a lot of assumptions. How do we get to the core assumption that we're making that's wrong? Yeah. That's blocking us from the next big step change in our lives or in our businesses or whatever. So and that's, I think, people ask me about, TOC thinking or TOC thinking processes, and how do I equate that with focus? Well, the focus is really find the one. Find that one. It's not a core problem. It's a core assumption that's holding us back. Find that one, and that opens it up, right? That opens up the conflict. It opens up the vicious cycle. It opens up however you want to refer to whatever the core problem is to really creating the next best thing. So my new motto is we're just an assumption away.
Just an assumption away.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Now, how do we find it? That's, like I said, it's about the attitude, which comes back to what Ellie used to talk about as the 4 pillars. Mm-hmm. To me, that's not a set of platitudes. It's a set of decisions that we make that help us become more effective in finding a way to solve the big problem that we're facing, right? So, for example, you can't tell me that we're not in a complex world, right? You can't tell me that, when I think about some of the businesses that we see here today, even that they're not complex organizations. The problem is, or the challenge is, when we think that the situation is filled with too many complexities or is too complex to make an improvement.
Yep.
That's when we're blocked. So that's when no, just remind yourself that once everything is connected, there's really a lever that we can find, right? And the lever is always sitting on an assumption that we're making, that we don't see, but that's wrong.
Okay.
And then I'll talk about the 3 other ones too, but yeah, it's much simpler than we've made it out to be in all these different thinking tools. I think. My homage to Ellie, make it simpler.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.